Hey, boys.
Hello, everybody, and okay, you just ruined my intro, you fucking wanker.
Well, yeah, go off to a good start, you know. It's not the only. So, by the way, Apex versus Lucky Dogs. Here we have Motorsport Mosh Pit versus Motorsport Mosh Pit. We fuck our own selves up.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, if you
God.
must.
All right. All right. Hey, everyone, and welcome to the Motorsport Mosh Pit podcast. So today is the usual Mosh Pit group. So on one side, we've got the big dog of Let's Talk Motorsport. And when I mean big dog, I mean metaphorically, as he's 4 foot fucking nothing. And on the other hand, we have Feven, a man who...
Jesus. Just because I'm not 6 foot long.
And on the other hand, we have a man... This decided well.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, we have Feven, a man who, according to sources, is the president of the Lando Norris fan club.
Oh, fuck off.
You know, I feel I'm glad I didn't start start that with me. Feven loves Lando Norris, everyone. He prefers him over Oscar Piastri. He constantly listens to the world champion hotline, and yeah, welcome.
Yeah, he was saying something offline about it before, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm Mecca.
Yeah, you're back. It's just
So,
or are you Toasty Trav by any chance?
Say, don't make me Courtney love both
news.
of you and make it look like a Kurt Cobain.
I guess I'm Mecca, and I definitely didn't just buy a VPN for any particular reason. So should we talk about the V8s in the Melbourne Grand Prix?
Did that nice lady get a sink fix, by the way?
I didn't get to that part.
We're getting cancelled for sure.
Yeah. It's a 15-minute long video, man.
Are we talking about car
only
racing?
Like 45 seconds in.
No, it's about VPNs. No, we're talking about VPNs and Lando Norris.
God.
Oh, God.
Yeah. I was saying, he's going to need a VPN now since
handy.
he's put up with his missus.
Oh, God.
Okay, so to keep it back to where we're going, the V8 Supercars at the Melbourne Grand Prix. So, obviously, there was 4 races. A lot of shit happened. Feven, what was your basic... fucking, I don't know. I don't have any questions. What was your vibe about the races?
I just want to know, was that modern day V8 Supercar, or was I watching an Australian touring car around from 1993? Because the amount of carnage that happened and the amount of body panels and just crap flying everywhere, my goodness. I thought like I'd gone on YouTube and typed in highlights of Australian touring cars back in the early 90s. Like I was just... I want to know how many concussions were at the end of those races, like especially Brock Feeney, because that would have been a bell ringer, man. Like,
Dad?
and shout out to Brock Feeney's dad, and rest in peace to his hat.
Yeah, that hat took a beating, I tell you that. But yeah, no, I completely agree. You know what? The only thing that we missed out on this weekend was Lee Diffie and Barry Sheen in the comms box. You know, it really did feel like the OG supercar days, and I mentioned that as well in my pod, self-promoting. I have to because, you know, but yeah, it really felt like OG V8s, and it was so good. Not only did we have action on track and carnage and carbon fiber everywhere, we also got drama in pit lane now with 888 versus Walkinshaw. That's heated up quite a bit actually in the past week with the podcasts and whatnot. So it's definitely really just an exciting time for supercars. Yeah, battle with the pods, and then there's us in the corner. But yeah, I absolutely loved the weekend, start to finish. Yeah. What about you, Macca? What did you think about the car racing this weekend?
So crying out loud.
Composure. I thought it was amazing. It was like going back to the old days.
I'm sorry.
Hang on. Oh, jeez.
Okay,
It's like...
Okay. Also, I'm pretty sure Brock Feeney's dad's hat's still orbiting the Earth because I'm pretty sure I drove past it on my way home from work. Like,
Yeah, it's gone to the core of the Earth. There's a shot out the other side.
Yeah, it as you said, it pretty much was exactly like the old days. You know, cars flying everywhere, everyone could piss off at each other. Like the only thing that was different, realistically, was the fact that there was no tobacco advertising. Like it was amazing to watch, and
They will be.
you know, but like at the same time,
Sorry,
yeah, there's
ignore
some
that.
pretty good battles going on.
It's all happening here. Go on.
oh, this is not going well.
We had this amazing F1 podcast, and now it's just gone fucking.
We can only have an hour of professionalism, and then we just go to shit.
You know what's happening. You know what's happening. As soon as we start talking about supercars, we're channeling that inner bogan energy, and it's just like all the brain cells are just dissipated because we've been too busy reading from the V8 Supercars fan page all week, and some of the crap that gets written in there. Like, oh my. Oh, it was some of the stuff that gets written in there, man. My goodness. And then, like, every time like I see some of the comments on there, all I can picture is that meme from The Simpsons where there's this monkey banging two cymbals inside Homer's head. Like,
yeah, you get some interesting characters.
I genuinely think they're like, it's an interesting one, but
But anyway,
good popcorn.
Yeah, do you know what my favorite comment over the weekend though? Because I posted about why, like, it doesn't make sense that Brock Feeney cops so much hate just because he's in Triple 8. And someone said, "Oh, I got to find it." Someone complained about they literally, basically, they proved my point. You know, and it's like, come on, like, really, because literally, like, let's face it, the only reason he's hated is because he's part of Triple 8. You know, and he's under Jamie Whincup's wing. If it wasn't for that, he probably wouldn't be hated anywhere near as much. Even Will Brown cops hate a bit too much. And one thing I want to point out as well is everyone calls him a spoiled brat. You know, I don't see that at all. You know, if to prove them wrong, all you have to do is just watch back his career. You know, the only reason he's up to where he is now at his age is because of how talented and successful he is in his career. You know, he's winning. I'm pretty sure. He wins Super 3. I'm pretty sure he did. He won Super 2.
Yeah, he won Super 3 and he won Super 2.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's definitely, he has every right to be there, you know? So I think some people just love to complain.
Adelaide 500 in his rookie year.
Exactly. Which is absolutely probably one of the hardest races besides from Bathurst, you know? So they just need to calm down. Some people just take it way too far, unfortunately, and it does ruin the sport. And it's just disappointing. I think that's what people do need to work on, but unfortunately you do see that everywhere, not just motorsport. You see it everywhere, especially AFL as well. For sure.
Yeah, that's true. Everyone just needs to have a wank and have some post-nut clarity. Chill the fuck out.
Words of wisdom. Words of wisdom right there.
Yeah. But I think, well, it's not only just like Brock who's been copying. It's because like now he's taken over as like, even though he hasn't won the championship yet, but like he's recently emerged as like the dominant force, as the guy to beat, like one who's like pretty much winning most of the races and whatnot. But then who was it before him? The one who's like SVG copped a lot of hate. Then McLaughlin copped a lot of hate. Then you had obviously Whincup before that, and then what did we have? Then we had like when the Toll HSV guys were getting hated on. Then you had the Ambrose era, and Scaife, and then so on and so forth. Like it's very much tall poppy syndrome, and people. The thing is, there's gonna be controversy around winners. Like you just can't escape it. There's always going to be something that someone nitpicks about, or it's going to be like something that's like questionable. But you know what? At the end of the day, you can't change the name in the history books. Like you can't edit it as much as you can go change things on Wikipedia. But
I've got a bit of a tip though. If you see someone post that on social media, have a look at their profile. Half the time, they're usually some like deadbeat guy who's like probably like had his like third divorce and shit, and all he does is fucking complain about his wife, and he probably does missionary, and that's it. He's probably never found his G spot, you know.
God.
So, but all I'm trying to say is that
This is
all
a
I'm trying to
fucking.
say is that
This is a friggin' podcast. Oh my God.
How do we go from car racing to G spots? What the fuck? Oh my God. How's life, Macca? How's life treating you after we have to verify ID now on porn?
Mac is on his own tonight.
my
Yeah, his
my
mindset
right arm's
somewhere.
very weak at the moment. So I'm thinking of discussing thoughts. What is your guys' thoughts on Brody Kostecki's little Takenyak?
I'm sorry. I'm trying to gain composure.
Let's just
Anyway, back to Takenyak. Yeah, he's obviously found new key to speed. It's just vomiting in your helmet before every race, and you're guaranteed to win. Like,
yeah, it's that extra lift that he gets from doing it. The extra thrust of power. But fun fact: this is the first time in 1,967 races we have seen DJR on top of the standings.
races. I think you mean days, dude.
Days. Fucking sorry, I've lost connection.
I was
from
going
the
to
fact
say,
that
there's been 1,000 races since McLaughlin left the country, dude. Where have I been?
my bad. My bad. I meant days. Jesus Christ. Cut that out. 1,967 days
that's making
since
Instagram
DJR
sure,
won.
like.
Oh, yeah. As long as the first chunk didn't make it in, that's fine, But yeah, it's been a long time coming since DJR has that orange sticker, and of course, how ironic, it's number 17 once again.
I think you've gone full robot, Dan.
He's gone full, like, that has gone full, like, 1996, like, dial-up crap. Like, they probably this. How did we go from, like, doing so well on a Formula One podcast to, like, talking about the bogan sport? Like,
we're only fucking 14 minutes in.
Yeah, but 10 minutes of that has been about porn. Fucking hell.
You keep bringing it up.
Well, I can't help. That's what porn
how's
does.
that VPN virus going for you, Dan?
Oh, yeah, going very well.
So, kids, just a bit of a tip. Dan is the reason you don't get a free VPN. You actually pay a bit of money and get a proper VPN.
I was going to say, Apex Hunters United could probably hook you up, man. Like,
yeah. Yeah. We'll cut this chunk.
Hey, we just plug their podcast. At least they can do is plug ours.
That's it. Am I? By the way, am I back to normal again? Am I still robotic or stop action, stop motion?
Yeah,
you better.
Yeah, you're kind of loading. You're kind of loading like a Commodore 64. Like, only gonna help someone on a drive home from like a crappy day at work, listening to us just all three lose our crap.
I hope so. I hope so. That's what we're here for.
Oh, at least we can bring some positivity instead of our sexual frustration.
Jesus.
Let's get back to car racing. How the fuck? Couple suffering from now.
Yeah.
Jesus. So we need to send him a flashlight so he can go fuck himself.
Okay.
I
don't know how this pod's going to recover from all the lawsuits and cease and desists and all the fucking warrants. Oh God.
Erebus are just going to throw a legal letter in just for shits and gigs, like.
Yeah.
I think our headline is just like, we got cancelled. But that should just be the title of this podcast, because
we got cancelled and we expected it.
Ambitious,
I'm probably going to get deported.
Yeah. But let's talk about
so
Kostecki, obviously. Oh, sorry, you're professionally going back to it.
Yep.
as you were.
Yep. No, do it.
Okay.
We're too far gone at this rate.
All right, so let's get
I'm
back
just going to
to
say
car
something
racing,
that will get
boys.
us cancelled. So
Okay, good point. Brody Kostecki, no, seriously though, he was fast this weekend. That was expected. You know, Sydney, we saw potential if he didn't spin Azakaza around that, you know. But no, we saw a pretty cool, like, you know, he just drove really well this weekend. And 888 though were the most surprising. They struggled quite a fair bit. Obviously Brock Feeney got a win. But Will Brown and that, like, they just kept getting into dramas, or just the car's just not there. You could tell Kostecki was a lot faster than Brock in that race, which, credit to Brock, he defended like hell in that race. So it's interesting to see.
yeah, 888 just, I don't know, like, because even in Sydney, they weren't necessarily dominant. Where usually at the start of the year, 888 are usually, you know, the team that are in the podium every single race. But this year, they haven't really been there. Like, you know, they've won races, they got podiums. I know Brock was leading a championship before this round, but they kind of got me thinking: has 888 dropped the ball, or is everyone else caught up?
I think it's a combination. Because obviously new car.
I mean, Will Brown's been shocking.
Yeah, Will Brown. That's Will Brown's problem, I think, though. He was just in it this weekend, and not for the right reasons. He was in the steward's office more than the car this weekend.
The passing masterclass.
Yeah. But
sorry, Will.
I'm not sure. Like, I think 888, like, considering how long they've been up the front, like, they're always going to be the team or one of the top two teams to beat. Like, because of how long they're, like, I think the worst they finished in a team's championship in, like, the last 2 decades is second or third. Like, it's something, it's stupid. But I have noticed, like, occasionally 888 will go through, like, a year where they're still up the front, but, like, they just won't be consistent enough. Like, I think 2010 may have been one of them where when they switched to Holden when they first switched to Holden, and like, they obviously lost out on the Drivers' Championship. Like, they were there, but they weren't, like, obviously dominant, because I think Courtney had really stepped up his game that year, and so did DJR, as long as Tickford at the time. Then I think a couple of years later, at the start of Car of the Future in 2013 or even 2014, around that time, they won the championship, but, like, there was a period like the start of the year where they weren't exactly that dominant. Like, they winning races and whatnot, but yeah. So I think, like, apart from other years where they've come out and just smashed everyone, I think that, yeah, I think they just occasionally go through a phase where they'll have a bit of a rough start to the year, and they'll eventually just work out all the bugs and then come good. But yeah, I think Will Brown, I'm not sure what's going on with him, but hopefully it just seems to be wrong place, wrong time for Will at the moment. So, and obviously the speed's there, and obviously Brock was just unlucky with what happened on the Sunday. We'll get into that in a minute. But yeah, I think you could be right. It could be a combination of both. Like, other teams are caught up, and but it's probably maybe just getting used to the new car. Who really knows?
Because I mean, you saw it in the last race where he finished second, and he actually qualified decently as well, which is kind of unreal. Like, it was, quite cool to see, actually. Good to see him at the front. But yeah, I mean, what is he, 13th in the championship or something? Yeah,
I think as the year goes on, he'll definitely charge further towards the front. So,
oh no, he'll be stronger for sure.
Definitely, yeah. Otherwise, you're gonna have to deal with Jamie.
Yeah, he's just had bad luck so far this season. He's just been caught in just places he should, and it goes back to his qualifying performance. You know, his story of 2025 was Will just couldn't qualify properly. Hopefully, him getting the pole for the Sunday race is a promising sign for what's to come, maybe. But because, you know, even when he was up, because he was up the front and he was doing well, he held his own in the Sunday race. So it shows that he can do it. This whole weekend period though was just chaotic, no matter what, no matter who you were, you know. And apparently, did you see that he got a 30-second penalty at one point? For I think a readdress or something like that. Hey,
Jeez, I knew Wood did, but I didn't realize Will Brown did.
I think he did, but the story, I listened to the Lucky Dogs pod today. Fuck, we're promoting all sorts of pods. Shout out to the LTM pod.
Yeah, give us a shout out.
Yeah.
I only like Alex.
Okay. Well, fuck you. But that's side draft energy right there. But no, basically, apparently, you know when he went off track and rejoined, and then Cooper Murray got spun around by Jack LeBrock on I think Saturday's race or something like that.
Yeah.
That's when it happened. But apparently, that never happened. That was purely just a TV broadcast thing. Because actually, in reality, Chaz Moss actually nudged him off track. So Chaz got the penalty, which is I think 5 seconds or something like that.
Ah.
So that's what I learned that afterwards because I was fuming. I was
TV
like,
graphics to get it wrong.
No, that's right, absolutely. You know, maybe it was either Scotty's Supercar or Billy Burnout who applied that one,
or Will Windscreen,
Windscreen. Yeah,
love that guy.
Yeah. By the way, fun fact, just a bit off topic. James Corney, I got a notification. He liked the reel I made about Will Windscreen. So I was like, nice, Will Windscreen liked it. So there you go. But yeah, back to Will.
Legend.
I reckon he just needs to get his head into gear. He said his primary focus this season is to qualify better, and I reckon hopefully from Sunday's result we will see that. He just needs to just put his head down and get cracking.
Yeah, and going into the Kiwi double header, like, you know, Will was pretty good at Taupo last year and the year before it even. So
he was strong.
That could be a promising feat. Yeah, I mean, obviously Matt Payne spanked everyone last time, but you know, Will was solid there, and I think as long as he can get into that top 5, but he's going to be good. But yeah, as you said, it's mostly just about quality because it sounds like this year he can't pull off those come from 15th and finish 3rd like he did last year.
Yeah,
it just seems to be. So I'd be curious to see what happens.
Yeah, it's interesting with the current Triple 8 lineup. It's similar to the Wing Cup in Lowndes days, like where Wing Cup, like I think Wing Cup holds the record for most poles in history, and like he was always a really good qualifier. And similar to what Brock is doing now and dominating races, where Lowndes would he would shine occasionally, but like he'd usually sometimes qualify a bit further back and then race his way through. So they've kind of got that dynamic again, but I'm really hoping for Will Brown's sake that he's now got the qualifying monkey off his back, and that can give him the confidence to be like, hey, I can do this. I can still do this. So, because like the guy's a brilliant racer, but I think this year I think for both Triple 8 cars, they've just been wrong place, wrong time with a couple of the instances and whatnot. And then and obviously, like I mentioned just before, like the crash on the Sunday, like I think it's fair to smash Brock up a little bit over what happened, but I think he's getting smashed up a bit too much.
Way too much.
I mean, I think his survival instinct was to try and power out and get out of the way. Like, but obviously, in the smoke screen, cars are going to try and go everywhere to avoid. So I think honestly, had he clamped the brake or done what he did, he was going to get hit regardless.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. But I think it's just. It kind of reminded me of a couple of years ago, there was Golding and Scott Pye, and then Scott Pye had to avoid it to crash or whatever. I think it was...
Yeah, 2023.
Year I was. Yeah.
I was there that race.
Yeah.
I was there that day.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Yeah. Yeah. But, like, it kind of reminded me of that, of, like, you can't just get on the throttle and spin. Like, even though I do agree that everyone is very harsh on it, I also think it wasn't the smartest move. And I know it's very easy to sit there on it on a couch and go, oh, yeah, nah, he shouldn't have done that when I've never driven a fucking V8 Supercar in my life. But, like, a flick and spin can be executed, but, like, you know, he's midfield, spinning around in a circle. probably has more like area of coverage of getting contact compared to holding the brake and staying in a relatively straight pattern. I've never driven a V8 Supercar before. I do think that maybe it wasn't the best decision, hindsight, whatever. But yeah, I do think people are getting very harsh and like calling like all this crap out. But I do think it's a very good point to investigate when you can do a flick and spin and when you can't. Because I think doing it while you're on traffic is a very bad idea. But, you know, and obviously it's very hard to police, let's be honest. But, yeah, there needs to be some rules around that and maybe some regulation of when you can and what is the kind of recommendation of when you can do those kind of things. Because otherwise you potentially have more of those incidents occur at a circuit that might even be a lot more dangerous. Like at least there was a lot of runoff.
Yeah, exactly.
Side entry impacts are the worst, and they are the ones that are more likely to hurt the drivers, and we don't want to see that.
Yeah, exactly. No, absolutely agree. I think it goes back to what I was saying about the Feeney hate. It just, anything he does, he will just cop hate for, unfortunately. That's the reality. And in hindsight, if he knew in hindsight what would have happened, obviously, no, of course he wouldn't do it again. Or wouldn't do it in that moment. But at the time, you're not really thinking. You just, shit, I've spun. Like, oh, I need to really fix myself up and get going again. You know, still like, so probably a lot of things was going in mind. So you can't really say that he did the wrong thing or right thing, because driver's instinct, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, sort of scenario. But I definitely agree. Like, maybe
exactly
there could be a rule enforced about flick spins and where you can do it for sure. But it goes back to the whole reason for the crash to begin with was the two wheels touching with Ryan Wood and Kai Allen. You know, it goes back to the spoke issue that they have at the moment and the supercars need to fix. We've seen so many wheel issues over the years. Like, for example, I still remember Zach Zane Goddard, whoever was in the Super Chief, I think we had a convo about this. Zane Goddard, I think, went up in the air purely because his wheel clicked with another car. So that is the main issue that caused it. But Feeney, obviously, with a flick spin, definitely made it more spectacle, I suppose.
I just want to say, I called this out last year on Post-Tron Dump. 5-spoke wheels, bring them back. The Aussie racing wheels. Make it happen. Because, like, at the end of the day, it's just the fact that the spokes are, exposed. They pop out of the rim. They lock, exposed. And obviously that's really dangerous. And the fact that they can...
Yeah, it's dangerous.
Expoked.
Like, wasn't there a crash at... Sorry, like, wasn't there a crash at Townsville last year caused by a similar thing?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, I can't remember who was involved, but I think
there was that
involved as one of them. But yeah, it was. Yeah, it might have been Golding in the other car, I think, who got affected. But but going back to the Feeney crash just quickly, like, I can understand why he did what he did. Like, obviously, he's facing backwards. He's trying to get out of it. Like, obviously, like, survival instinct would kick in. He's like thinking, "Oh crap." Like, obviously, we don't know exactly what's going through his mind, but honestly, he would probably be thinking like, "Oh crap, I need to get out of the way. I need to get off this track, or just try and recover and not lose as much time." But like, again, it would have been a damned if you do, damned if you don't. And the thing is, had he pulled it off and not gotten hit, then no one would bat an eyelid. But like, how many other times have we seen similar things happen where I think there's some where you can question where you look at some things and you're just like, that is so stupid. I think it was 2002 with Max Wilson and Marcus Ambrose. I think Ambrose spun him at the hairpin at Phillip Island, and then Max was essentially stationary and he just sat there. It was like he was sitting there and doing a standing burnout and just created this massive smoke screen when yet he'd just been spun 180 degrees when I think even some of the commentators were saying, like, in that instance, he should have just like sat there, held the brake, and then spun when he had the chance. But let's take another example: Win Cup 2012 at Simmons Plains, where he bumped into the back of Frosty under brakes and then did the perfect. Was it Mark Skate's Safeway car park stuff? Like, that was one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
Yeah. Peak Win Cup though, yeah.
Vodafone days, like that was a really good era of supercars.
Yeah.
It's probably
But
my
yeah,
favorite, I
I
reckon.
100% agree. Like, it's one of those things that you probably can't. You could probably, I'm sure if like you had an interview with Brock and he explained what he did and why, you'd probably be like, oh, okay, that makes more sense. Like, you might not fully agree with it. It probably wasn't the best decision, but he kind of, he's a fucking good driver. So he's going to do what he can with the scenario in front of him.
Mm.
Yeah, but I think it's just, arguably you could say that he should have qualified better or whatever. But like, yeah, that's one of those things that just, you can't
Oh.
really have a 100% clean solution to.
I want to gloss over qualifying, actually, if you boys don't mind, because that was a hot topic this weekend as well. Obviously, with the GP weekend, we had a 12-minute quali session, but then an 8-minute session. But we saw in the 12-minute session on the Saturday, Ryan Wood almost taking out half the field because we're going back to people slowing down and, creating havoc. And the problem with that is the drama about they weren't even going to set a lap based on how slow they were going. What was your thoughts on the whole Ryan Wood drama that happened Saturday?
One thing I want to say is like, it's bloody good to have Roland Dean arguing at someone again. Like, it gave me flashbacks, man.
It's
like,
it created
that's what I mean. OG's back.
Yeah, but Roland Dean and Tim Edwards, like, it's like going back to 2012, but yeah, like, it's one of those things. I think it's just a matter of the track's quite a long track. I think it's probably second or third longest track in terms of lap time, and it does make it difficult to obviously warm your tires up in time with such short qualifying times. But at the same time, it's the driver's responsibility or team's responsibility to put the cars out in time for that session. And if they can't have 2 runs, they have to just put it all on one. That's as simple as that, really. Obviously, Ryan Wood going out there out of, I guess, the trend does cause a lot of issues. But this isn't the first time it's happened. It's even happened at Queensland Raceway a number of times. Where things have happened, red flags, yellow flags, and all that kind of stuff. Like, I remember one year, it might have been 2019, when McLaughlin was just destroying everyone, and he was like passing people left, right, and center, trying to set a lap because everyone was on the slow lap, and they had to go past people. And like, he had an accident 3 or 4 times, but he still set the fastest lap. Like, I think it's just one of the circumstances you just need to like get on with. Unfortunately, that's just motor racing. You need to adapt to the schedule.
Yeah, we saw it in Tasmania plenty of times too.
I think I reckon qualifying's always going to be a hard one to police how you do it. But it's nothing we haven't seen before, though. That incident on the seen it. We've seen it happen in the past. It's always something you run the risk of happening during a quali session. And like, I think there was a, oh gosh, what year was it? As I was thinking, like you mentioned, obviously the McLaughlin thing, but I think it happened to, might have been Clipsal. I think there was an incident between Tander and Coulthard.
Yeah, 2013. Yeah.
And yeah, so and I wasn't exactly the same thing. Like, it wasn't the same thing, but like but what was I going to say? I think was it Coulthard ran into the back of Tander, didn't he? Or was it the other way around?
Yeah. It might have been the other way around, but I think Tander was about to set a lap. Coulthard was just coming off a lap or something like that.
No, if I remember, there was an argument. There was an argument in the pit lane afterwards, and Tander said to him, he said, "If you're on a lap, turn your lights on," or something like that. So
yeah,
obviously there was the confusion there and whatnot too. And that was the year after, I think, Murphy went into the back of Jono Webb, when Murphy came through on a flyer and just completely totaled the back of Jono Webb's car. So yeah, like I said, I know that they're completely different incidents, but that's one of the risks with qualifying. Like, there's always going to run the risk of people getting balked. There's people crashes waiting to nearly happening, and crashes happening, or someone doesn't get out in time because they get held up in the traffic and whatnot. So, like, I think it's even happened at Barbagallo a few times as well, and some people just didn't get a chance to settle that. But we've also seen it in like in Formula One, where someone's come through, like they leave it right to the last second, and then they'll get balked by someone going slow, and essentially that's it. I think like Alonso got balked by Vettel a couple of years ago at Austria.
Or even if
Monza
they
2019, I think, was it as well?
Oh, the ones where no one wanted to give each other a toe.
Yeah. But one issue that Will Brown pointed out in his pod is apparently an issue, because obviously once they leave the paddock onto the track, that's when the timer starts. And apparently some drivers or some cars were delaying when they were leaving the pit lane. So obviously destroying other people's chances at setting a lap. So maybe that has to be, like, that could have been a factor as well. So maybe something, like, there has to be a rule saying you can't slow down at a certain speed or something like that. So something has to be reviewed. Because I agree. It can easily happen. It happens in any other motorsport. But the way it happened, because obviously Alex pointed out that Ryan Wood was on TV the whole entire lap that he did. So, there should have been people on the radio saying Ryan Wood's coming up, like push on, or something like that. So it's just multiple things that probably have to be reviewed and looked at.
I think there's probably there should be a lot more responsibility on the race engineers too, to be like, hey, there's cars coming through, don't hold them up, or like it's just. And the thing is, like, obviously, like it's a motorsport, you don't want anyone to have an advantage over you, or you want to have the advantage over them. But like, I think there probably is a bit more responsibility that needs to fall on. I'm not saying that they don't do it, but maybe just a slightly bit more responsibility on engineers or anyone in the team to say, hey, it's just like, okay, there's traffic up ahead, or like there's two fast guys coming through, just like don't get in the way. Like, but again, with the short sessions, like that's just something. It's a recipe for disaster.
Definitely agree. Yeah, definitely for sure.
Maybe they just need to have alternative qualifying methods. Maybe we go back to the Peter Jackson days and they just pick a name out of the hat.
Well, question. I actually want to ask you boys a question. You know how NASCAR and even, heck, IndyCar split their groups, like their qualifying groups? Do you reckon maybe Supercars might have to do something similar?
Well, they've done that in the past, haven't they? With like Simmons Paynes and the like, where they've had like the practice sessions and then
they had like the top
15
or some shit.
Go straight to the the whole convincing Da Vinci Code thing they used to do.
Yeah,
and that worked out alright on the shorter circuits. But at the Melbourne Grand Prix circuit, it's a big circuit, so it shouldn't have this issue. I think the main issue is just the time they have on track, because it's if you're going 2 minutes a lap at speed.
Yeah, and the fact that the timer started the moment they left the paddock, so it will take even longer just to move away from the tyre bundle and head onto the circuit. So yeah, Phoeben, what were you going to say?
You make an interesting point with the qualifying and groups thing in NASCAR. Yeah, like that could be one option. Like, didn't we have a thing for a while, or was it last year or the year before where they only had a certain amount of cars qualify for the next bit of qualifying? Didn't Supercars do something similar to that? So it was like a Q2 thing. So like similar to like what the MotoGP.
They still do it because they did it for SMP as well. With their Q1, Q2.
They do it for the shorter circuits where there's like a lot less
I was just
space.
trying to remember what the setup was, because like obviously I don't watch qualifying too much, but like obviously like for endurance races and like stuff like maybe Gold Coast or Bathurst, or even like some of the big races like Sandown, like you want to watch that qualifying. It's always pretty exciting. Like I don't know if it could work, but what about something similar to what the F1 setup is?
Yeah,
like the elimination kind of qualifying.
Yeah, what
Q1,
about
Q2,
that?
Q2.
Like how many cars do we have on the grid this year?
24. Pretty sure.
24.
Yeah, so it could work.
Yeah. Okay. So what if you took the F1 style elimination, so you could do it as what? Maybe what?
I would just argue that having 3 qualifying sessions for 4 different races, or 3 qualifying sessions per race, when there's 4, that's a lot of time.
No, but
Yeah.
no, what you'd do, that I was to say, but what you'd do instead of doing that, you'd have the qualifying session in 3 different parts, but get rid of qualifying for every race and bring back what we used to do, progressive grids.
Yeah, I like that idea.
That's
do
what
that.
That's what this weekend should have been.
It worked. The thing is,
Yeah.
we had it in the late 90s. We had it in the 2000s. Like, get rid of qualifying for every race. Just have try something wild. Try a similar thing to what F1 do. Have Q1, Q2, Q3, and then for each race, it's even though you qualified second for the first race, but you finished 23rd, so you start down the back for the next race. Like, bring back.
I think it was back in the race.
Bring back the next starting grid based off the previous race result.
Well, if you think about it, majority of the grassroots categories in Australia do that. They do progressive grids. The only ones that we don't see that do that is, I think, TA2s or Trans Ams, Super 2. I think that's pretty much it, really. I don't know about Formula Ford or not with the AASA one, but the rest are always progressive grids. You know, you start where you finished last time, and that can create it. It makes you work harder, you know, in the race. You know, you want to be higher up. It gives you more incentive to perform better.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it will work on certain circuits, but I think you need a mix of qualifying formats. I think, for something like Melbourne, a progressive grid is actually a really good idea because there's so many overtaking opportunities. You have a wide circuit. There's always shit going on.
It's just a sprint race as well.
But if it's somewhere that's a lot... Yeah. But I do think that there are some circuits that do suit the qualifying for every race. Because it does mix up the grid. So you're going to have races where, like, one driver's at the front, one driver's at the back, one driver's in the middle, and has to fight his way through. So you have that variety.
Oh, exactly.
But I think it really is dependent on the circuit. Like, I reckon on the circuits that you don't have those passing opportunities, do something like that. But then if it's something where there's a lot of passing, like Melbourne, progressive grids is, I see it as the best solution.
But I just miss progressive grids too, because, like, again, it's part of the thing of, like, putting the rose-colored glasses on. But you go back and watch, like, from maybe about 2001 to maybe 2006, in that period where you had the progressive grids, it's like if someone had an absolute shocker in qualifying, like, you progressively see them come through the field each race. Like, I remember there was a year where Mark Scaife at Eastern Creek, it was in the Ambrose era, like, he had a shocking race one, but then I think by the last race, like, he'd finished on the podium. Like, he just fought his way back through every race. And that's what you want to see. Like, you want to see people coming through the field. You want to see, like, I'm not saying you don't get that with qualifying for each race, but the one thing too, like, if the less qualifying you have, you could throw another race in.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah, you probably could. And fuck it, make
and that's
it a
what
reverse
people
grid.
want.
Just fuck it.
Do you remember do you remember reverse grids at Canberra?
Oh, that was chaos.
Oh god,
that was man. Like, that was.
But I mean, Canberra in general was chaos though. Like,
yeah.
I mean, that first corner was just like, what are we doing? Like,
was that a corner? Are you sure that was a corner? I'm not convinced that was a corner.
No, that was just like, that was I turn right now. Like,
exactly. Like, there's no indication that there's a corner there.
It was.
Like,
I remember someone saying that they could actually stall.
Yeah, you go watch the footage from Canberra back in the early 2000s, and in the first lap, like 30-something cars going for that turn. It's like they're moving at 10 k's an hour. It's just like, no, you go, no, you go, no, you go. Like,
being a P car on bloody the Westgate Bridge in Melbourne, like, fucking hell.
No, it's like it's like the M1 in Queensland, man. It's ridiculous. Like,
it's like South Road in Adelaide at the moment.
But like, Yeah. It does make you think. There's a lot of ways we could approach qualifying. Like, I mean, you could even just. I think they need to adapt to qualifying per racing. Also, one thing that really grinds my gears is the fact that they have top 10 shootouts so often.
Yeah, it's not as special now, is
Save
it?
it for the good races.
It doesn't really have the same feel to it. I think for me,
It needs to be one of those tracks.
After one quali and then having a top 10 shootout, it's good. It's then having then the quali and top 10 shootout for everything. It's just like, yeah, it's just getting a bit much.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for
they
example,
need to leave those for the.
Yeah, no, even they should just make it a Sunday thing, exclusively Sunday. Even if they're going to do it as regular as they are, like that. Even because then I remember Clipsal used to always have shootout on the Sunday instead, and only on the Sunday, and that will always be something I was looking forward to. But now they have it Saturday and Sunday, and you're like, it's kind of just boring sometimes after a while.
Yeah, and there's also circuits that arguably don't fit a top 10 shootout. Watching it at Bathurst, watching it at Adelaide, Gold Coast, those tracks are awesome to watch on a top 10 shootout because there's very little room for error. Like, they're just absolutely sending it, jumping over curbs, all that kind of stuff. But when they do it at Sydney Motorsport Park, it's probably not as exciting.
Yeah, it doesn't have the same because there's like, obviously, like there's like if you put a wheel off, you're done. Like that's your lap ruined. But it's just like, it's just run off the track. Okay, yeah, no, it's not exciting. But like you said, like very good point. Like we're at the Gold Coast where it's like when Brown put it in the fence last year during the shootout. Like, but it had that excitement to it because he was just pushing so hard. Like,
no.
And that's what you want to see. Like, you just want to see these guys on the absolute limit, cars just like smashing over curbs, like millimeter perfect to walls. Like that's what we come to watch it for. Like, who's essentially gonna put their balls on the line to start at the front?
Yeah, and that's why they just have to cater it for every circuit layout. The qualifying, I think. One size fits all doesn't work.
Well, what about for super sprint rounds? You have one qualifying thing, and then obviously you have the rest for like in big like obviously like what we do now with endurance races and whatnot. Just try and refine what we've currently got.
Yeah, I mean, it could work. I do think. Yeah, I think you have to do it like track by track basis. I reckon. Otherwise, it. But then I know some people will get confused by it because they have small brains.
Well, in fairness, they have different points for different events. So
crayon eaters.
Yeah, lunchtime, dinner time, but because the points are always different each round as well. So supercars and consistency doesn't exist yet. So they're on their way there. They just got to fine tune a few things. But
anyway,
just like maybe less top 10 shootouts.
Qualifying. We probably talk about qualifying all night though. Like,
yeah. Oh yeah, no, definitely for sure.
I guess going back to the Melbourne stuff, I guess one big thing that was quite well publicized is the fact that Toyota had a podium. Like they were actually quite competitive, which is good to see. I don't think a new manufacturer's come in and actually been this competitive so early, probably since Volvo. But realistically,
Volvo,
that was just one car.
It took Merc a while. It took Nissan a while.
But that was just because of McLaughlin and arguably. Whereas like now they've had Mossad up there, they've had Wood up there, even Andre 3000s has been doing all right.
Yeah, I mean, and
on the Sunday they
Nissan
had
2 back in the day with Jungle Juice.
On the Sunday at Sydney they had all 5 in the 10. Some cars had penalties and dramas, but that's pretty amazing considering how they started test day on Thursday. And to think, because by the way, for people who don't know, they had engine upgrades over the weekend. They all received new engines. Now, you're probably thinking, how's this work with parity? I mentioned this last time. Toyota's still developing their engine. They're not completely finished yet, so they do have approval to modify and improve their engines in terms of parity and to be because at the moment it's not the same as the Ford or Chev engines yet. Aero is completely parodied, yeah, whatever. But J-Dub mentioned that the engines are still there you go. Thanks for being thanks for that. Wink-Up pointed out that in terms of aero, they're all sorted, but the engines, they're just not balanced yet. So it's interesting to see. It's good to see another manufacturer up there.
Can I just quickly touch on the J-Dubs thing? Like, one thing that makes me laugh is obviously, his entire career, people have been so quickly to smash J-Dub, about pretty much anything. Like, he can sneeze in public and, he'd be like, oh, he's a inconsiderate bastard, all this other stuff. But
Cup.
Yeah. One thing that stood out to me was, obviously, I don't want to get into, all the drama between him and Ryan Walkinshaw at the moment. They're obviously got their own issues, and that's just better off left untouched. But for some people, this really goes out to people who just smash him up for nothing and say he's whinging about everything. But if he was really that much of a hard ass or that much of a sook about everything, then why would he publicly come out and say that he's spoken to Bruce Stewart from Walkinshaw and said, hey, if there's any help you need in regards to this area, well, let us know. Sorry, but for someone who's supposedly the biggest sook or whatever you want to call in the sport's ever seen, then why would you offer to help a rival manufacturer and a rival team? Use your head for a second. And before anyone comments oh, AAA bias, you're just blowing smoke up Wink-Up's ass. At the end of the day, I'm a motorsport fan. Yes, I do support AAA. I've always liked Jamie his entire career. But also, too, for me, I've always been a massive fan of Walkinshaw Racing. I friggin' love what Ryan and Chaz are doing. And I love what friggin' other teams are doing. I remember, for crying out loud, Cam Waters, since he won that TV contest back in 2010, 2011, I've followed his career ever since. You got to look at it, take the friggin' bias glasses off and just see the sport for what it is. It's they'll fight hard on the track and in the media, but behind the scenes, they're all going to help each other because they want the sport to grow.
Yeah.
It's we pay good money to for subscriptions or follow stuff on social media or pay I don't know about you guys. I haven't have paid for a membership in a while because obviously other things, but people pay for team memberships and other things helping create the sport revenue. The thing is because the sport's nowhere without the fan base, and engagement is good. But some people have to realize it's just some of the crap that people just dribble. I'm probably dribbling on a bit now, but but it just makes me cringe whenever I see that crap. It's just come on, guys, they're working their asses off to provide you with entertainment, and all you can do is just absolutely smash them. Come on, it's just stupid.
Well, at the end of the day,
Speak Cafe to write an article about this.
At the end of the day, if you think about it, in hindsight, at the end of the day, it's their job. It's their business. They're running a business in this series, and all they're doing is trying to make their business better. And yeah, exactly. And Wink-Up, you know what I love? People complain that Wink-Up is sooking about the fact that Ryan Wood took Feeney out in Adelaide. Wink-Up himself said that he actually congratulated Walkinshaw. He personally congratulated them for winning. Just play on. Yeah, it sucked for them for AAA, but it was a huge effort for them to win the title last season. So it just shows the type of person that Wink-Up is. He cops. It goes back to being Feeney in AAA. If you just cop too much unnecessary hate, every time I've met Wink-Up in the past, he's always felt welcoming. So yeah, I think he's a great bloke, and it goes back to, if you remember, Thomas Randall and Mark Dutton back in 2024 in Tassie. His reaction, he was so compassionate and in understanding of Randall at that time compared to Mark Dutton. But yeah, he copped more hate. He cops more hate than Dutto sometimes. And I've never seen Wink-Up do something like what Barry Ryan or what Dutto has done in the past.
Nah, but when it comes to flog, oh,
well put.
you're all paid by 888 and stuff.
Yeah, we're on the AAA
Hey,
payroll.
I mean, seriously though, if 888 do want to pay
it'll be
us,
handy.
like,
it'll be handy.
See my bank
it'd be
account
handy.
number.
I'd take a share of their budget any day.
But like,
I
give me a
will
Red
not
Bull.
complain.
I'm here.
Yeah.
But it also comes back to as well, like you said, it's like what you and I said just before, Daniel. It's their job. Like they have to. They have to they're the ones putting themselves out there at the end of the day. Like, and the thing is, motor racing as a whole is a very dog-eat-dog world. Like, sometimes you have to say the controversial thing. You have to maybe portray yourself as a certain thing. Because, like, at the end of the day, any advantage, whether it be on track or psychological or just anything really, all those 1%ers, any advantage you can have over your rival is going to win you races and bring home the money. And I think that's the one thing that people tend to forget.
But I guess at the same time, like, they're not also trying to be facetious to each other. Like, they do, like, at the end of the day, like, the sport will make more money if all the teams are at a higher level and they're pushing each other. If one team's dominating and being corrupt and everyone else is doing absolute shit because they're getting no money, that's obviously going to cause issues. But like, the fact is, like, Jamie's literally going in there helping people, and I'm sure Ryan's probably doing the same thing. Like, everyone's working together behind the scenes to grow the sport. Like, that's what makes a series succeed. The moment you have everyone fighting each other and nothing happens, which doesn't, from what I've heard, it seems like everyone's pretty collaborative. But, the moment that everyone starts fighting each other is where shit happens. But it's pretty clear that, like, they might be saying shit to each other in public, but I guarantee behind the scenes they're talking to each other and being collaborative about it because they're looking at it from the point of, we need to get this business moving again. We need to generate more income. Like, it's just basic business.
Yeah, exactly. No, you don't see people complaining about other people doing their jobs wrong. So the only difference is they're on the spotlight, So
maybe like Jamie needs to like go to like Terry, who's a builder, and go to his, like, on Facebook, go to his place and be like, oh, you're putting in the nails wrong, you fucking flog. Oh, you're using the wrong fucking drill. Like, just fuck off.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, I guess Brian Wilkinshaw kind of does that. Like, he does comedy.
Some of the stuff that Ryan Walkinshaw posts is just comedy gold, man. Like, and it's cool to see. It's cool to see personality come out, especially from like higher ups in that industry, because like some people, like, you can split them into two halves. You're gonna see people like, obviously, like us, who think, yeah, that's just hilarious, like, he's just having a laugh. Then you're gonna get the other ones who will see people do literally anything. Like I said, like I said with Jamie, for example, they'll do literally anything, and that person's like, oh, they're a flog, or like, I hate them. Rah, rah, rah. It's like, you never even met the person. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And they also forget that they're kids too, technically. A lot of these complainers are like 40 plus, Not all of them, I'm just saying some of them. Quite often you see that. And at the end of the day, they're complaining about a 20-year-old doing something wrong. Like, okay, boomer.
Jealousy.
I'm going to get cancelled for that, but I don't care.
The thing is that
exactly.
They're not even creative with their words. And that disappoints me. Like, where's your creative flair? Like, use your words, man. Like, I know you probably
run out of names
school,
already.
But, like, fucking hell, like,
yeah, like, give Winkup a new name. Come up with something else.
Yeah, we can sit around piss and moan about like some fans who just like dribble absolute garbage, and the thing is, but at the same time, like I said, any engagement is good and it can help grow your sport, but also there's literally.
Yeah, I was about to say, there's a fucking
We've got
possum.
a Motorsport Mosh Pit podcast here, guys.
Oh, here we go. First
it's gone now.
I'm recording outside tonight because it is starting to heat up again here in Queensland. I just had a possum run across my fence, and I don't know if you heard it earlier, but there was two like really loud bangs earlier, which the locals have probably posted it's a friggin' gunshot, but it sounded like fireworks, and then I had the police chopper fly over about 10 minutes later. So
it's a casual day in Queensland.
Yeah, you heard it here first.
Yeah, nah,
Yeah,
it's
but-
no, it's not. It's around here. It's like just locals. It's one of two things. It's either someone's letting off fireworks, or it's a BA XR6 with no exhaust. And I'm
Oh,
gonna guess it's option number 2 because the amount of rev limiting like barras just going bah, 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 bah.
living in Mexico.
Yeah, it's Queensland's Mexico. It's Mexico here, bro.
We'll have to
I guess
start
one thing I
wrapping
wanted
up,
to
I think.
talk about.
Well,
Yeah, I'll start wrapping up, but just probably the last thing I want to talk about. Where the fuck was Chevrolet? It's just sad.
Well, it's
Mustang
doesn't-
Cup, that's what
I
that's
think-
everyone's saying.
but I also think that it just really shows. Like everyone was going on about like how was the Camaro Cup when Triple Eight was winning, but I really just think it may just showed how good Triple Eight was or was with that car, and how good they still are. I mean, I think Team 18, like I'm not gonna discredit them just yet, but like they honestly need to pull their finger out. Like,
Well, they were there in practice, but they just weren't there for the rest of the weekend.
He's still there. Possum's still there. Hang on a sec. This is good. Hang on. How can I turn the camera around? Can I turn the camera around?
Just twist it around. Just do the old.
Where is he? Oh, he's bugging. Okay. I was going to say, like, that was going to be clip of the year for sure.
Well, unfortunately, it
Oh,
took
he
you about
just-
10
he just
business
little-
weeks to turn the camera around. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I couldn't get the thing to play around. And as soon as I said that, he actually fell off the fence and face planted into the garden. So
Jesus.
you're out there, buddy.
Oh god.
I think he's
He
dead.
can't make noises if he's dead. But
Yeah.
I would say if we record
Chevrolet,
any
though.
videos of Bathurst Macca, we're just going to have kangaroos just jumping through everywhere. Like,
Oh god, I'll be
yeah.
chaotic.
Getting back to what you were saying, Chev, yeah, that was dismal.
I just think, yeah, as you said, it's really just shows the level that Triple Eight we're at. Whereas, like, I guess like the other Chev teams are not at that consistent level of competitiveness.
Well,
I mean, apart from maybe Anton, who's usually up there, and realistically, he must have some serious back pain. But the other guys just aren't. I mean, David Reynolds had some speed. There was that 22nd to 7th in one of the races. Which
I'll tell you the quiet achievement so far this year in Chev is Jack LeBrock.
yeah,
he was really
yeah.
good this
Like
weekend.
6th and 10th.
Yeah, where is he?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure LeBrock's
sixth in the standings.
in a championship on his return to Matt Stone Racing. Like, I think if they can get more speed out of that car, like, I think he could be an upset.
Yeah.
Well, they were reasonably decent at Taupo last year, so it'd be interesting there. Anton was pretty good there as well last year. I think he qualified second in one of the races, and
Yeah,
it's gonna be curious. But
DJR
I guess
was
just
strong,
the
though.
kind of
I know we're talking about Chevs, but
they were quite strong as well.
DJR are pretty strong.
Yeah, but yeah, I guess I'll just be curious to see. Hopefully, they can step up over the next few rounds and go from there. Because I guess you got the Kiwi double header of Taupo and Ruapuna, and so that'll be quite interesting.
Yeah, hopefully we see some speed from the Chev scene. Like, not because like, oh no, Chev bias. Like, no, we want all three manufacturers fighting for wins.
Yeah, that's otherwise what's the point of being there, But because last year it was Triple Eight were the only Chevs majority of the time in the 10, or in the fight at least, So it just shows, like you said, how good they were. Apparently the Ford's drivability is actually better as well, according to Will Brown, because obviously him switching over from Chev to Mustang. Even Winkup and Scott Pye said, geez, this feels better. Like they were actually happier with the Mustang, which is interesting to know. So yeah, I think it's just at the end of the day, Ford is probably just investing more than GM at the moment. Let's be real. You hear more about Ford these days than GM.
Yeah, I think it's obviously proving so far to be a massive loss for GM to have lost Triple Eight. Like, yeah, but again, we never know. Like, maybe GM will turn around and throw like a crap ton of money into Team 18 a bit more and be like, "Come on, guys, we need to really knock them off the pedestal." Like, but yeah, but one thing I really wanted to quickly say before we close for the this fortnight's episode, Brody Kostecki and DJR. Have DJR finally found whatever it was they're missing, and could we actually see another DJR championship? Is this the start of the resurgence?
I think so.
I'm not
I
convinced
definitely
yet.
think so. You're still hanging on? Wait till New Zealand, and then we'll sure we'll wait. But I'm on board. I reckon
Because
it's going to be a fight between them, Penrite and Triple Eight. And the thing is, I said in the preseason, the fact that they're no longer working on the homologation part of it now, they're purely focusing on the race team. Their mindset and resources are put towards the racing, and it's shown. You know, even Rylan Gray, yes, he's a rookie, but he's doing okay. You know, he's not doing too bad. But Brody's obviously carrying it, but because Brody was strong second half last year. If he didn't have the dramas he had in Gold Coast, he would have made it at least to Adelaide for the finals. So it's going to be interesting. Anything can happen in this championship. That's the whole point of the finals. But DJR would definitely probably be a factor. That's for sure.
I'm going to disagree. I don't think they'll be the championship winner because this time last year, they were in a similar boat. They did really well at Albert Park. They obviously did pretty well at this time of year. And then they dropped off. I mean, obviously, Brody still managed to get into the final 10. But there was still a lot of fundamental errors. Like, I believe they have the potential to win the championship, but I don't think they're at that level just yet. Like, they need to probably prove themselves over the next 2-3 rounds before, in my opinion, I would say they're sound championship contenders. Because I'd say that, for example, Feeney's just had a few mistakes and errors. Matt Payne as well. I think once those guys get into that solid level of consistency, Brody's going to find it hard.
Yeah, definitely. No, I agree.
Yeah,
it's a good point.
Yeah, no, I can actually dig that one. Yeah, that's, you both got very fair points. Yeah, for me, I'm not sure. I think they're definitely on the right path. I think Brody's definitely now gelling with the way they work. Like, we saw that in the second half of last year. Like, he was, obviously his drive at Bathurst before, like, the smashing into the back of Kai Allen, and then all the electrical dramas, whatever it was they had, and then obviously finding the fence at the Gold Coast. Like, he did really well, like, considering first year with a new team to get into the top 10, and then obviously it didn't go his way. But yeah, I think they've really started off this season really strong. But I think I'm 50-50. I think it could go either way for DJR this year. But then you've got to look back, I think, over their history. Like, there has been times, like, maybe in the last 2 decades, where there has been times where they have been really strong, and then they just not been strong enough when it mattered. I mean, obviously in the Penske era, they obviously, like, the amount of resource they had available to them, and, like, obviously Penske money did help. But then you had, like, McLaughlin at the peak of his powers, so, like, it was a no-brainer that it was going to be just success. But it'd be cool to see Brody take them back to championship winning ways. But yeah, I reckon at this stage 50-50. But yeah, but it's encouraging signs for DJR fans that yeah, they've definitely got something in the works, and it's whatever they're doing right now is obviously working for them.
Definitely agreed.
Shall we wrap this up?
Yeah,
but before we do, I just want to.
Yeah,
it's been good. I want to point out that DJR heading to New Zealand with the orange sticker. The last time they had an orange sticker was a New Zealander. So there you go, a little fun.
Yeah, it was McLaughlin Day.
thing that makes completely no relevance. But I just thought I'd throw that in there.
Yeah, and we're heading into the New Zealand rounds where everyone will pronounce the town names wrong, and they
That's
won't
why I'm
spend
not
any
saying
time
it. I'm not
Googling
saying
shit,
it
so
till
that's
the end
fine.
of the doubleheader.
Oh, just a quick side note.
Taupo, ruapuna, right? Toe, like your foot. Paw, like a dog paw. Taupo.
Taupo.
I was gonna say just a quick side note. You mentioned about DJR and the orange.
I'm gonna slap you for fucking Melbourne. Yeah. Anyway, what are you saying?
Yeah, I was gonna say just a quick side note with the DJR thing. How good was it to see McLaughlin behind the wheel of the 2019 car again? Like, even though he didn't drive it, but how cool was that? Like, that was.
Yeah, I saw his
You just have to
vlog.
Wipe the grease off his seat first before he sits in.
Yeah. Yeah, is that engine even legal? That's what I want to know.
Yeah. Does it have?
Nah, it's cool to see that.
Does it have the same shock in it that it landed up on a balcony in the Gold Coast? Like,
yeah. Oh, but no, that was cool. That was cool. I wonder if he remembers how to heel and toe. It's been a while.
Like that shock though. Can you imagine sitting on the balcony next to you? There's a freaking race car shock absorber sitting right next to you. Like,
oh, he would have been shocked.
I'd be like, sweet.
Yeah. We got over the stupid stuff the early part of the pod, Dan. Don't go back there, like.
Jokes are due. I'm always.
We should get the PG this time.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't my fault that it went away from PG to begin with.
Yeah, just like Macca.
It's all your fault, mate. You're the one who brought it up. Like,
what do you mean?
Yeah, sure. Okay. Let's just
Dan brought it all up.
Let's just blame Feven. Let's blame Feven. Hang on, Feven. I know someone we can blame that can't defend himself.
Are you free tomorrow night to join the Gran Turismo 7 lobby so I can send you down at the friggin' chase?
Unfortunately, I'm not, but from the sounds
of it, it's kind of a good thing. Now that I... I don't think about it. It's probably that possum's fault.
Start broadcasting those races in the audio because, like, actually, no, it's a bad idea. We get cancelled fast.
No.
If we got cancelled for tonight, if we don't get cancelled for tonight, you would get cancelled for that. Yeah.
We get cancelled faster than Erebus content.
Yeah. Let's end the pod before we can't make another one.
Well. Yeah.
All right.
I think I've just got a legal letter, so yeah.
Oh, hang on.
Carry your opinion away.
Hello, Barry Ryan.
Yeah.
No, I didn't call you a fuckwit. That was Feven.
Oh goodness! Barry's in my driveway.
Yeah. Oh. It's Roland Day, and he's coming after you.
I think he's probably more busy fucking crucifying Job Stewart and Cooper Murray for finishing the bottom end of the championship at the moment. He's probably got them all tied up fucking by their balls and he's just whipping them.
We cannot.
Metaphorically speaking, allegedly.
We've gone back to the fucking... Now we're back. See? It wasn't my fault. It was him. It was Macca. It was nothing to do with me.
No, let's cancel. Let's stop this before we get in serious trouble. Like,
let's cancel.
Okay.
I don't want to end up on a
been doing that.
Article, dude. Like,
no, that's fair. That's fair.
At least make it auto auction. Come on, man.
Yeah, because at least you know it's fake. Okay.
No one reads auto action anymore, anyway.
No, well. Like people like to read real shit. That's why,
Yeah. So listen to Lucky Dog.
Yeah.
All right, Macca, finish us off. Yeah. Finish us off. Take us to the end. Come on, mate. Oh God.
Is it on trading yet?
Oh God. Oh, do you need me to end it? I'll end it. I'll carry us on. I got this.
Yeah, end us all.
End us. Yeah, I'm trying. Thanks for everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed our whatever this was, the podcast. A very, very loose podcast, but we got there in the end. It's pretty much as loose as Brock Feeney's rear wheel. But if you did enjoy this, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Follow our social media as well. Check out Post Round Dump. Check out LTM as well. Check out Thievin. And we'll see you next time, pending cancellation. So we'll see you next time. Thanks, Thievin. Thanks, Macca. And we'll see you in the next pod. Bye-bye.